Good morning. How are you doing? Good. You have thoughts on that sign there? What's that?
I always think when I see rape abortion, I'm always thinking of cases with incestual rape.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, a father rapes his daughter,
Yeah.
he has a child born.
Right. Well, rape obviously is an evil,
Yeah.
but obviously murdering a child would just perpetrate another evil. So answering an evil for an evil is not an answer to the problem.
My question to you is,
Sure.
would it be fair to creation for something that was lifeless?
Well, I believe that all life is precious. Every single life has value. So a child that is born of rape or incest is not of less value than someone that came from, let's say, a home with a happily married couple. That child still has value. They're still worth something. They're not of less value than someone that was born from, let's say, a happy relationship. So that would be my answer to that, is everyone has value. Everyone is worth the same. Yeah, in the eyes of God. They're all beautiful. They're all created with value. So that doesn't diminish their value because of the way that they were created.
Well, I'm not saying that someone who's born with rape they're not lesser, but just the idea of the trauma that carry around through life. Your mother could have been 14, 16, 13, maybe younger.
Yeah. Well, obviously trauma does mark us, but again, I mean, there's lots of people that have gone through trauma in life and they've gone on to live very productive, fulfilled lives. So just because you're live through trauma doesn't mean that we're unable to live a full and productive life, or that our life should be taken from us because we've survived or become the product of some type of trauma.
So would it be something like an ectopic pregnancy where the fetus grows, let's say here, in the body, and both the fetus is already dead,
Yeah.
the mother's dying.
If the fetus is already dead, that's not an abortion in the sense of removing a live baby. Now, there are instances where they've been able to remove an ectopic pregnancy and implant it in the uterus, and the child has been able to continue to grow. But if the child is already dead, which is most of the time how it works in an ectopic pregnancy, they have to go in and remove that. But you're not killing the child in that circumstance. Yeah. So that would.
I bring that up because there are still laws with abortion kind of prevent that, even if the child is dead.
They don't actually, no. Yeah, I think that's a misconception that some people have, but that's not part of the abortion laws. That's not prevented by them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of misconceptions. I think I've heard that, like in the cases of a miscarriage, that people would be penalized for that. That again is not part of abortion laws, but it's something that's been propagated as a truth, but it's not. So I think there's definitely some misconceptions out there, yeah, that have been put out.
So I'm talking as someone who's been through trauma, rape. What do you suppose is fair punishment?
The punishment for rape would be,
Yeah.
personally, I believe in the death penalty. That I do. Yes, absolutely. At the very least, I believe someone should be incarcerated for the rest of their life for that. I don't think it's something that should be minimalized in any way, shape, or form.
Rape is it's a conscious act.
Yeah, very much so.
You can't get rid of it, and you have to think like it's a choice.
Yeah.
If the perpetrator chooses, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, it's something very evil, yes, but again, we don't perpetrate that evil on the innocent child that is a product of that. So they're still of great value, yeah.
It just, I think it's a very interesting conversation because there are many, like, it's not a black and white thing.
See, I absolutely think it's black and white because I think all life is created by God. I think He creates every life. Every life has value in the fact that it is from a creator. And so there's no mistakes from God. So even if a child is created in what we consider to be a less than ideal circumstance, that child still has value. If you scan a crowd and someone is the product of rape, incest, they're poor, they're rich, you don't know that by looking at them. You don't know where they're from. You don't base their value on that because they're a human being. So their value is attributed to them because they're created by God, not because of their societal status or whether or not they were born in poverty or they were born into riches. That doesn't assign us value as a human being. Our value is given to us by our Creator. So, ooh, helicopter there. But those are all really good questions. Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. Yeah.
Thank you for talking.
Yeah. Here's one of our gospel tracks. It'll tell you about Jesus. And if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. My name's Elisa.
All right.
It's nice to meet you. Yeah, have a good day.